Very excited that Christian Lockhart is joining the conversation. Super excited. Christian is the founder of Sports IQ and the mind behind Operate Unlocked. I cannot wait to hear about that. A system designed to help people think with clarity and make stronger decisions. We know everything is about choices and decisions. Over 20 years, leading teams and improving systems inside major organizations. He later co-founded an NCAA certified scouting service and now leads a sports technology company helping college basketball programs evaluate players with structure and consistency. Today, he teaches leaders, athletes, and builders how to elevate their thinking, operate with discipline, and raise their standards in every room they enter. How exciting is that? So today we welcome Christian to the Faith Over Fear conversation with Shae conversation, and we're super excited. Christian, how are you doing today?
Well, first off, good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm always fantastic. A little tired. Had a little workout last night, beat me up, so I can be relaxed today.
There you go. There you go. I love that. Still working out. Listen, you're inspiring me. I need to get up and every day I was like, let me get on this treadmill. So I'm hoping that by the end of this, you get my mindset clicking to do the
There we
things
go.
that need to be
Let's
done.
go.
Yeah, so here we go. I have a couple of questions I have in store for you. Super excited. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations, right? I want to give you your flowers, right? Congratulations on all of the things that you do to push people into mindset. We know that everything, our lives are really list of our choices and decisions, right?
Hmm.
It is everything compounds to our choices and decisions. When we look at our life, if we want to do more, then we expect more, then we need to do those things that push us there. And you spend a lot of time teaching people to think that way. Um, you spent years helping athletes and leaders. This helps people think more clearly. What's one habit that you believe everyone should adopt? Like something that they can start small, big, or something that they can incorporate into their days. What's one mental habit you believe everyone should adopt?
Well, recognize that today's a new day. Every moment is a new moment, right? You can always start over, right? So because what's happened in the past, you can't change that, right? And so you can affect what happens in the future, all right? And so the habit is it starts now, right? Just the mindset, it starts now, right? Let's keep it simple. That's what I would say. Keep it simple. It starts now.
Yes, I love that. When you thought about Operate Unlocked, tell me how you got to that. What did that look like? Walk us through Operate Unlocked.
Yeah, so I don't know if you can see it on my bookshelf behind me, but that's the book. It's very interesting. I never sought out to be a writer. Okay. And I'll give you a little history. So I worked in the industrial gas world for a couple decades. And what that means is we take the air that we breathe, separate it into its elements, oxygen, argon, nitrogen, hydrogen, in a technical space for a long time. And of course, basketball being my love and my sport, I started to dabble into the NCAA scouting space. Um, and you mentioned that, so thank you. And that was in the basketball space. But the big thing is, let me combine what I've learned on my technical side, apply it to the thing I love, and let's call it something, right? And so that thing was the sports IQ that you mentioned. And so doing that, never was thinking about writing. And then I can tell you, it was last year, 2025, divinely inspired to just sit down. Like I just started thinking about what did I accomplish during my career? What did I accomplish as a parent? What did I accomplish as I was training kids? And what do I accomplish when I'm always encouraging and talking to people through situations when they come to me for advice? And so I sat down and realized there was a framework there that I operated under. Let me capture it. Right. And
Mm.
so, Lockhart being my last name, I love acronyms. Okay. And, the one thing is, operate means to move about, right? To do something, right? And unlock means free, right? So how do we move freely? All right. And so that's a mind shifting kind of concept as well. And so the unlock stands for uncover the target, right? Notice the barriers, locate the origin of that barrier, right? Overhaul your system then and commit to the path, keep what works, expand your horizons, and demonstrate. So that whole thing, if you keep it simple, most people tell you to write down their goals, right? But they never tell you what to do after that, do they? They just say, write your goals down. That's great. Now what? Right. And so when you have a framework that understands how to start at the beginning and then be able to demonstrate, which is the end, which is the target, right? Which is the aim. Now you have a framework, a discipline to get through these things. So now imagine if you can accomplish more in your life. right? You build your value, build and the value of the people around you. So that's net worth at that point, right? So writing that book was it just came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere, right? And it was interesting. The process was draining, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think it came out of nowhere. I think that came from the core of something very, very special. And and boy,
I agree.
what a good formula that is to follow. So to be able to incorporate, because you're so right. We hear people all the time, like write down your goals. And I always say that too. So we have a thing when you look at your vision, you flip it around. Ebbs and Ivory, we created the portion where like you write down your vision, you make it plain, right? That's a biblical, that's a divine type of event in our lives, right? We all know that, but you flip it around to write down and celebrate the things that you have accomplished. So I wrote down my goals in the beginning of the year. Then at the end of the year, they kind of get shuffled in my paperwork or whatever. But then it's important to look back at those goals. We flip around the page or the poster board that we developed in the first place, and then we write down how we accomplished and how it made us feel. So I love that.
Nice.
I know that Operate Unlocked uh, is really helping you free a lot of people, right, to get their minds unlocked and raise their standards. What has the Unlocked Foundation helped you in your own life? Like, how do you see it come into play in your own life?
Yeah, so this whole thing is based off of I've told my kids and I tell people, you're a genius. Okay, that's the point. You're a genius. And operating unlocked is about mining that genius. Okay. And so when we think about that, how that helps me, that's it right there, plain as day. How it's opened me up to see things differently. So how do we unlock that genius? We ask better questions, right? And so the concept is asking better questions, and so the book, the posture that I take is based off almost like a 5 why principle, right? Well, why? Something, the answer, well, why? Well, and then you get to the actual core, right? Because I'm trained to understand root cause, right, professionally. And so just taking that mindset and really diving into when I want to do something, if I'm thinking about something, okay, right? I've even had to pull up my own book to help me out, which is beautiful,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah,
was sitting
yeah,
there, I was like, wait a minute. I pulled my book out, started getting into it. I was like, okay, so it made me ask better questions of myself, right? And it's just a beautiful moment, and it was a testing moment. I can't remember what it was. I just know I was really tested at that time, and I was just like I was struggling, and I pulled out the book, and it just helped me get through it. And so, that whole process again is about pulling the genius out of people. And I say that because when I first wrote the book, I built the website. I don't like middlemen. I built everything on my own, right? And so I built the website to sell the book. But that's morphed into understanding. Now, if you go to the website operateunlock.com, you'll see that you can purchase a book, but now programs have come from that, right? And so this whole book was written to be like a tag along coach with you. So you can, and again, I've proven it because I used it myself. So it's a tag along coach because everybody needs a coach or slash mentor. Okay. But not everybody has access to a mentor. So now you do with the book. That's kind of how it comes about. But now the next thing that's beautiful, how it's helped me develop even further is on the site. I've actually created my own AI, right? I'm not using ChatGPT. The point is, you can go access it, and it's interacting with the framework of the principles that I've written in the book. So when you come, you start a new, I call them blueprints, right? You start a new blueprint.
mhm,
What do you want to accomplish? You put it in there. So now you're writing it down. You're just putting it in there. And then it interacts and it's going to talk to you. Because the one thing about most people who use AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever, they're going to give you an answer. They're not ever going to say, I don't know. Okay. But I wrote my program to say, do not give this person the answer, mine the answer out of them. It's their
ooh,
genius because they know the answer. You just have to pull it out of them, right? And so that's what the book does for you in a framework written form. Now you can interact with it through this AI, right? And so you're going to put it in there and it's going to ask you questions. It will never answer for you. It will give you some feedback, but it'll ask you questions to get the genius out of you so you can make good decisions. Right? The genius can make good decisions. All right. And then off of that, I've now developed some forums where, whether you're a founder, growth founder, or you're a professional, different forums where iron can sharpen iron, come together with your decisions and questions that challenge you throughout that process. Right.
mhm. That's
I see you
genius.
taking
You
notes. What
are a
resonated
genius.
with you?
You are a genius. Kudos. Like I'm not. Did you ever hear this thing like, uh, don't ask what somebody else can bring to the table. Bring your own table. Like, listen, you're writing your whole
Bring the
programs
table.
for AI in the beginning of the time when AI is like really becoming essential a part of life. Like you're right, your blueprint is leading you right into a space that is going to be able to help so many people. I hope that people go over to your website and get acquainted with what you have to offer, because I'm going to be going over. When I think about how I started in Faith Over Fear, it was a moment of desperation of like, I have gifts, like I can always encourage people, right? So when you talk about your why, like what was
Hmm.
my why? It was like, I can encourage people, but how am I going to make a gift out of that? Like, I mean, how am I going to use that portion of my gift to be able to make something special, right? Start with why. I've read that book.
Yeah.
Actually read that book. Start with your why.
Love it.
I've read that
Love it.
book.
Love it.
I read that book.
Yep. One of my
Also
favorites.
another book that kind of like set it free was the 28 days to mind shift, 28 days to mind shift. I think I can't remember the name, but it was by author Becca Lewis. But right now we're not talking about anybody else's book. We're talking about your book. But your book is sitting on the stand with start with why. So
Yeah.
look at that. And then you're even having to go to your book to get some clarity on some things in life. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
And that's how smart people operate. That's what smart people know. That's what I mean, what you just unlocked something that is very, very special. It's going to add so much value, and I'm super excited for you to keep uncovering people and allowing them to get unlocked. Like that's going to be a thing. That's going to be a household
Yeah.
thing to be
No,
like,
I
are you
appreciate that because
unlocked?
that's what
Like,
we call it.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what
For
we talk
sure.
about,
Well,
right? You need to be unlocked, right? So yeah,
you
no,
need
I
to be
appreciate you
unlocked, and I love
recognizing
that it
that. That's
matches up
awesome.
with your bloodline, with your name. Like, people from your
Hmm.
past, like your ancestors, like everybody in your family now is like you're using that name, but you're also tying into something really special that will be here forever now because it's a part of online. Like this conversation online. This is why an online
Right.
presence is super, super duper empowering and important. So I have a signature question that I always ask everyone who stops by, and it's kind of fun. Like this is a fun space. Faith over fear, right? We have to develop. Everything can scare us. Everything can stop us in our tracks from getting to the next level of who we are to become to help somebody else. Because everything we do should really essentially be to help someone else get through, break through, change their mindset,
Mhm.
be a better person while we are still becoming. Um, so faith
Agreed.
over fear meant to me was like break out of just always encouraging people, find out your why, read the book, and uh develop something that could help people. So faith over fear was actually born from being able to speak to brilliant minds in the beginning of their journey. Because when people get there, a lot of times you can't get those conversations, but these are the more
Hmm. Hmm.
valuable conversations in the beginning of the journey. How you broke free from a mindset to tell me I can't do anything, how you sat down and wrote a book, got it published, wrote a program that is equivalent or even probably even better, I will say, not probably, even better than an AI that just gives you answers and doesn't give you doesn't probe you to think, doesn't probe you to go deeper,
Hmm.
doesn't probe you to go underneath the surface. So that in itself speaks volumes to where you're going in your future. So my signature question is, allow me to reintroduce yourself in this journey you've been
Yeah.
pushing and promoting and doing all the work. I want you to reintroduce yourself, even speak it out loud so you can hear it. Who are you becoming? I want you to answer that question as if you've already become. I want you to answer that question as your future self from 5 years from now. Who are you, Christian Lockhart, right now? Reintroduce yourself.
Okay, that's I like that question. I like it. So I'll say this: I'm someone who serves people. Okay, I'm someone who understands the value of connection. I'm someone who understands you have to become who you need to become so you can do what you have to do so you can have what you're supposed to have, right? And those are godly principles. I'm somebody who reads the Bible not just to know what it says but understands what it's saying. Okay. Um, and what I'll say is that's future talk, but that's present talk at the same time,
I was going to say
right?
that. I was
Because
going
I've
to say, you're
introduced
telling me who you
myself.
are now. I want you to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
deeper. Who are you becoming? Tell
yeah,
me,
yeah. Because I
if I
mean,
met
because it's
you 5 years from now, introduce yourself to me.
yeah, and so so saying that, that's a very interesting thing. So, hmm, and I'm gonna tell you why I like this question. I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because I got to tell you this first, because one of the things I talk to people about is, you frame your present by your future, and you frame your past by your present, right? And so what I'm saying now is how I'm gonna operate moving forward, right? Which is deeply connected. Oh, this is gonna be beautiful. So, what I'm gonna be doing is having
Who I
is having
am,
groups of who I am is the person who redirected humanity to understand how to be unlocked and how to come back to the human side and human aspect of living. Okay. And because what I've done is I provided the framework, I provided the direction, I provided the dialogue, and I provided the inspiration for people to understand that they are more than what people have told them that they were. Okay. And for them to understand, they now understand, right, that there's no longer two classes of people. I've evolved people away from that because that's where I think we are at this point, and so that's where that's where my influence came from, and I've also taught people that what you learned in the Bible as a child, just from listening to people, is that I've taught them that if you read it, meditate on it, get some understanding from it, and have conversation with other people who are open to dialogue about the book, you will find they found that they've learned a lot more from those conversations versus from how it was framed and given to them, and they accepted it.
how's that feel?
Feels good because it's like I talk to myself like that every day. And so when you asked me that question, I was like, huh, that's really cool, but I never expressed it that way.
Right. And so we get
So I
more
thank you for that.
comfortable and we get more comfortable in saying what we're doing. That's the power of speaking what I've done. So what I've done with Faith Over Fear is that I am a sought out and it's happening because people are now reaching out from other
Yeah.
countries even going like can so what I've done is that I've created a space where I'm sought out to have Faith Over Fear conversations to celebrate people. I've even been able to have a conversation with Michelle Obama right here. And I've even been able to
Hmm.
present my ideas to mass audiences. And, I'm a sought out speaker and author and coach who helps, a million people at this point. I have 1 million followers at this point. So that's the fun
Yeah.
part of it. That's
Yeah.
my favorite part of this journey.
But I did want to stay here though, because that exercise is beautiful, right? This is flowers to you. That's a beautiful exercise because that's about confidence, right? That's one of my favorite words. When you have people speak like that, even me speaking like that gave me such energy and even more confidence. I think I'm a confident person, right? I know I'm a confident person, right? But at the end of the day, you just gave me more confidence. So I just want to thank you for that.
Absolutely. Faith over fear, right? If I never broke away from that fear and got down to my why, we wouldn't be sitting here today for you to give me my flowers, which I receive wholeheartedly. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And also because you are experiencing a journey of being unlocked, that you're also open um, to still becoming. And so I'm really proud of you. We
Absolutely.
come from the
Absolutely.
same hometown, and so to look back and say, where we are today isn't even comparable to who we are still becoming. And so, congratulations, you've done a lot of real valuable work, and I see you in the future, and your future is continuing to be bright, bigger, huger, and just you're going to empower so many people. I'm already empowered by sitting having this conversation with you. How do people connect with you? I want you
Thank you.
to just give us a way that people can connect with you, get the blueprint, join your membership. I always tell people, if you hear join the membership and that kind of turns you, oh, that makes you cringe, then you need to reflect on, what it is that you're after because you have to invest in your future. It's an investment. So
Mhm.
when you hear join the membership, I'm excited about that. How do I join the membership? Like how do people who are listening follow you and just grow along with you on this journey?
You can start at the website, and it's www.operateunlocked.com, all one word, operateunlocked.com. From there, you can read up, right? There's information there. And there's also, just so you know, you can sample the AI right there on the homepage and have a conversation. So go try it. Start there. I have social medias. Operate Unlocked has its own Instagram. I tend to operate more just from a networking side of the house, right? Just being in circles. So my social presence is there, but it's not something we maximize on, right? Um, but it's there because Operate Unlocked is fairly new. When I say that, I mean within the last 6-7 months. Primarily, if you're looking for the sports space, that's where that's my main business, right? That's sportsiq.com. That's sportseyeq.com. Some nice stuff. And I know we talked about it for the college coaches, but right now we're in the season for the parents and athletes. So any basketball parents or athletes, go check it out. That's for you as well. So you can contact me through those sites. That's primarily the best way to get to us, right? So operateunlock.com or sportsiq.com, depending on what you're looking for. But let's stay in the Operate Unlocked space, because this is what this conversation is all about. It came from how I operate Sports IQ in life. So that operateunlock.com for your audience is probably the strongest way to get to me. But that membership thing, to your point, you have to make sure it's something for you, right? Because there's no pressure in that, right? Something has to resonate with you, because what I've learned is, listen, there's principles in this earth that God put in here, right? And people stumble across those same principles, but it's a matter of, some people can talk about the same principle, but it's not going to resonate with everybody, right? And so if what I've said resonated with you, then by all means, check it out. But I would encourage you, if what I did say did not resonate with you, listen to somebody else who may say the exact same thing, but it'll resonate with you. Jump on that opportunity, right? And so again, just stay with the principles that make sense for you. If it resonates, I'm here for you, right? But I do want everybody to test that AI out, because I think it's a very fun exercise, so you can start to see how you can unlock yourself very simply.
Right. So reintroduce yourself. I am Christian Lockhart, and I replace ChatGPT with my own program. Woo! But listen, this has been a fantastic time. Thank you for walking us through the Unlocked Blueprint, giving us a little sample that we can go out and get it on our own. I really appreciate you. I accept and receive my flowers. Also, give you your flowers.
Thank you.
I want to say this is the beginning of something very special. It is in the beginning. So I was able to get this meeting with you. I'm sure this conversation with you, I'm sure in about a year from now, it's going to be like, talk to my people to talk to my people. But right
Nah,
now,
I'll never
that's
do
not
that.
it.
So I'll speak to the future on that. Christian Lockhart has never, gotten too big
There you
for
go.
this, right?
Oh,
Because listen, as we talk about it, we'd be remiss if we did not mention the hometown.
that's right.
Okay, since we came
Eastern
from the same
Pennsylvania.
same place, right? And so Eastern Pennsylvania, right? That's I think I know that has a lot to do with how we operate. Okay,
Absolutely.
because
100.
when you come from that place, it's not the biggest town, not the biggest city, but what I'll tell you is it's a place that had a lot of bite to it, right? And so if you came from it at the time that we came up in it, you have that bite in you, right? And
That's right.
so, and I encourage everybody who listens to this, who may be from our area, it may not be where they think they need to be. Okay. You have that bite. Just go ahead, right? Have faith over fear and operate unlocked, right? We can say it that way.
It has been fantastic. I know this day is already blessed. And so when we start the day like this on this journey, it could only go up from here. So have a beautiful,
Absolutely.
wonderful day. Thank you for joining the conversation, and blessings on your journey and Sports IQ and in the unlocked experience for so many people. And thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
You got it. See you next time.
Take care.